Hey, thanks for joining us on this episode of the Rockwell Farms Garden Show. I'm Josiah.
I'm Mark.
Happy to see you.
Yep.
Glad you're here today. We're actually going to be finishing up our, I guess it's our part 2
Yes.
on trees to plant in the fall and why.
Yep.
And so today we'll be going over different trees that we got in. We actually just got in another truck today, and we'll be getting in another truck later in the day. So we are fully stocked on shade trees, ornamentals, fruit trees, evergreen trees, you name it, privacy screen trees. We're fully stocked on those. And so I think we can go over some of those.
Yep.
And kind of why to plant them and what interests they have.
The trees that we got in are coming all the way from Oregon to Tennessee, Alabama. So we pretty much have big swatch of the whole country.
Great selection, yeah.
I want to start off with this. This is the Fat Albert.
Fat Albert.
Remember that?
Yeah, I do,
Okay, good.
yeah. I think the tree's better than the cartoon, but
Yeah, I know. But this right here is the Colorado Blue Spruce. It's the
Yes.
Fat Albert variety. This is the one that people love to use for the Christmas trees.
yes.
The cool thing about the Fat Albert is that people buy it in November. They bring it in, they decorate it inside their home,
Yeah.
and then they take it outside and plant it.
Absolutely.
Works just fine, just don't overwater it while it's in the home.
Right.
But the thing I like about this is that here, come late January through February, it'll get these really bright blue, I call them tufts.
Yep.
They'll be about 3 inches. So
All
on
of
each
that
one of
new
these
growth.
terminals, it'll have a big tuft.
Right. What I like about the Colorado Blue Spruce, now here in our zone, again, we go by zone 6A to 6B. Here in our zone, these are actually going to get around 25 to 35 foot tall. They're not going to get that full,
Right. The heat dwarfs it.
50 foot tall Colorado Blue Spruce. These are not going to get that tall in our zone, but they do grow really well here, and I don't think a lot of people know that, and give you some really good structure in your landscape.
And it's blue.
Yep.
Talk about the Japanese maple.
Okay, this is an Inaba Japanese maple. This is a cascading Japanese maple, a lot like the Crimson Queen. Now, with your lace leaf or Japanese maples, you want to keep in mind when planting these in full sun, they are going to get a little bit greener in that full sun. By keeping these in a area or environment where they're going to be shaded from that hot western evening sun, they're going to keep more of that red color. Now this one was grown probably in the sun before it had shipped here.
Exactly. That's why there's not much red in it.
Yes, but when these first flush out in spring, they are just so bright red. It is just
That's why we get them in
unbelievable.
the fall, so that in the springtime people can see the red.
That beautiful color.
So whenever you're buying a Japanese maple, what I like to tell people is go outside at 3 o'clock. It's that 3 o'clock sun that you want to protect it from.
Yeah.
So see where the shade is coming from that 3 o'clock sun, and that's where you want to plant it.
Absolutely. Yeah, beautiful tree right here. Right over here, what do you have?
Orangeola. This right here, the inside will be green, and then it has the red limbs coming out right here. So you always have a two-tone, and it's more sporadic than the one that he was showing you over there.
Yeah.
And I think that we have, 5 or 6 different of the dwarf, this is what you call a dwarf Japanese maple. Split leaf dwarf Japanese maple. And I think we have about 5 or 6 varieties, don't we?
I think we
Red
do.
Dragon, these two, the
Blood Good,
Yamala.
Fire Glow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what's also great about this one is in the spring, this also has more of an orange kind of red tinge to it when it gets that first flush out of leaves, which is really bright and brilliant in the spring. Love that
right.
one as well.
I want to show people another plant that is a good accent plant that we got in. It's not a tree, but it's a Colorado Blue Spruce on a stick.
Yeah, let's on a stick.
On a stick.
Wow, Mark, these are beautiful. We've got this lower growing and this high graft here.
You know, on one episode, we were talking about the plants of interest. This right here will give you interest all season long. I mean, for all 12 months.
Is this what it feels like to have long hair?
Oh my word. This is Josiah's favorite tree, is the weeping willow.
Weeping willow.
That's another one. Well, we talked about that in part 1. So these right here, this is the Colorado Blue Spruce on a stick. So this is what you call a high graft, and this is a low graft. Both of these are great plants of interest. Just got them in, and these do not last long.
No.
Yeah.
No,
So
they usually go pretty quick.
if you want to jump back and we showed some of the lace leaf dwarf Japanese maple. Let's talk about some of the upright Japanese maples.
Yeah, the
Okay.
fire glow and blood good.
That's
Let's
right.
go.
This is one of the upright or tree form Japanese maples that we were talking about. This in particular is called the fire glow.
Yeah.
Now there's the blood good, the fire glow, and the emperor. The blood good is pretty much the standard. It's been around for years.
Yeah.
All right. And then you have your emperor. Now, blood good will get about 20 foot tall.
Right.
Your emperor will be around 15 foot. It's kind of like a shorter version of your blood good. And it will actually tolerate more sun than the blood good.
Yeah.
The fire glow, reason why we pulled this one out is because its new growth is extremely red. I hope that, especially when the sun hits it, it's kind of like when the sun hits your ear. You can
Yeah, I kind of see through that.
This is the
Just
reddest
a glimmer of red.
this is the reddest Japanese maple, standard Japanese maple that you can get. I love the fire glow.
So if you have an area that can get a little bit more height, this one is a great one.
Now these are your river birches. River birches are great because they're fast growing. They go good as a centerpiece of any garden. And I would keep them away from the house, okay? Just in the center of a garden is where they work beautifully.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about it is that the bark peels back.
Yeah.
And one thing I want people to know is that these are called the Duraheat. There's two types. There's the Heritage and the Duraheat. Here in Northwest Arkansas, get the Duraheat.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yes, it is the most hardy for our area, and it's the only one that we carry. We do not carry the Heritage because it just really flakes out during the summertime.
Well, and a river birch gets its name because typically you see them where there's water.
Yes.
So this one, what I favor about this tree above other river birches is because it's a Duraheat. It's a lot more heat tolerant, but can also still handle those wet conditions. So either area you have it in, this tree is going to do phenomenal. Also, the leaves on this are so small.
Blow in your neighbor's
cleanup
yard
is almost nothing.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about some of the evergreens, arborvitaes.
Yep.
Okay.
And I think we got a few more shade trees in. We can talk about those as well.
Well, let's do that, whichever.
Okay. You know what, Mark?
What?
This tree makes me feel like I fit right in.
Yeah. This one you
Look how wide it is.
do not have plant envy over this
No
one.
plant envy. It's not tall and skinny. It is tall, but it's not skinny.
Yeah.
You know? We're buds
chunky.
right here. Hey, buddy.
Yeah. This is the arborvitae green giant.
Wow, look at this. I mean, this is huge.
Yep. And I tell you what, they grow, 2-3 foot a year.
Yes.
Extremely fast growing. Make a great privacy screen or standalone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Either way. But I have seen them instead of someone putting a fence in, they'll stagger these for the whole entire backyard.
And they actually save a lot of money by doing trees that you have a living privacy fence.
Yes.
Who wouldn't want that versus something that deteriorates, you have to restain or
it's
whatever.
much more organic when you go this route.
It is so much nicer. What's also, I think I like this more than just a regular privacy fence, is also the noise and light pollution because the height that it gets.
Right.
You know, you don't have to have your neighbors, if they have a top balcony or something, peering right down in your house, your window, your pool.
And it's amazing how much noise these absorb.
Yes.
Like right now, we're next to a driveway right there. You
Busy
don't hear
roads. And,
busy roads.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good point. All right, let's talk about your crab apples.
Yeah.
All right.
I think we should.
All right, we just got them in. It's tied up, so we'll pull this out.
Yeah, let's do that. So I'm a really big fan of the crab apple.
Yeah.
I think this is a really good tree for like putting in the median, or up by the sidewalk, or you can actually put these fairly close to the house too.
Yep.
Because it has a softer root system, pretty strong, but softer root system. So you're not going to destroy your concrete or pavement.
And they only get 20 feet wide and about 25, 28 feet tall.
Yeah, kind of the
It's an
same
ornamental
similar
tree.
size as a dogwood.
Yeah.
But this can take full hot sun. It is in the apple family, the crab apple. This is a profusion. The color on this one
This is my favorite crab apple
just
of all of them.
phenomenal.
Well,
I
this
mean,
and the Robinson. I'm sorry to interrupt, but the Robinson has that pink, reddish tinge and white. I mean, it goes from white to a red to pink. Those are my two favorite, and those are the two that we carry.
And so you don't just get interest when the bloom comes in the spring, but you also get interest going into fall and winter with these beautiful red little berries. What I also like is the crab apples on these. They're not like those huge grandmother crab apples. They're pretty small, and so they just dry up or the birds get them, which is phenomenal because they're not messy.
This one's called Profusion because it is so brilliant in the springtime. It is that burgundy red flowers. And then, like you said, you get the fruit later on in the season. And then in the fall, it'll have that burgundy leaf. So it's just, it's a beautiful tree. Come by and take a look at the crab apples. We have 4 or 5 different varieties.
And they all look really good.
And they grow fast.
Wow.
Yep. Okay, where to next?
Let's go look at some shade trees that we got in.
Man, these 15-gallon trees are good looking.
They are.
Look, this is a 15-gallon tree. Man, that's almost 15 foot. These are beautiful.
Yeah.
Remember last week we told about people the 15 gallons that we have?
Right.
That's the way you save money, because we get them in 15 gallon for that quick sale. It's good for you, good for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this October Glory that I have here, this will turn a bright, brilliant orange, just a show-stopping orange in the fall.
Yep. And you just unwrapped it.
I just unwrapped it, so these branches, they will fall.
Yep.
Because they ship these really nicely.
Yes.
Really nicely.
And the way that their cultural practice on here is really good because you get a really full, dense tree. I love it.
Which is really what you want, yeah.
Yep, and like on this oak tree, I think last time we talked about how the difference between red oak and white oak.
Right.
A red oak will have the pins on the end of the lobe, and a white oak will be lobaceous, no pins.
Yep.
So this is a red oak, and it will give you that red color in the fall.
Yeah.
Very strong, sturdy tree. And red oaks grow fast. It is one of your faster growing oaks.
Along with like the Shumard and
your bur
oak, bur oak.
Yep.
Yep. Very
So,
fast growing.
We try to focus on the fast growing oaks.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is just amazing.
Yep.
You know, right over here, again with the green giant, I think this is actually the American pillar.
Yes.
So we usually sell these at a lot. I'll just pull this out.
We have those in 3 gallon.
Yeah, we usually sell them in 3 gallon, and they come in like, you know, 8 inches to 12 inches tall.
I forgot we got
in
these.
quart pots, and then we grow them. But this is what they grow into. So if you like the American pillar again, or I'm sorry, if you like the Thuja green giant, again, the American pillar is very similar in height, but then it doesn't get as wide. I think these are only going to get about 5 foot wide.
Yep.
And so you can still get what you're looking if you have smaller space in your backyard.
And it grows just as fast at 2 to 3 foot a year.
So I have one of these. I planted it when it was yay small, and just now, I mean, it's taller than this tree right here. I can't even reach the top.
And that was only a couple years ago.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Really fast growing. Let's see what else we have. So the emerald green arborvitae.
Yes.
This one is always going to be a fan favorite, I think, here in NWA, because it just grows so well here. Also another great one for privacy, because it only gets about 10 to 15 foot tall and around 4 foot wide.
Yep. They did a really good job on these because of their shearing practices. Notice how thick it is inside.
Right.
They did a really good job because this one will be nice and sturdy at the base and it won't split apart. I noticed that with this grower.
I love these because it's kind of like a fan-shaped leaf on each one of these. I mean, it's just, just a beautiful, the foliage.
Yeah, we'll discount that tree.
Okay.
Yeah, this is one of our #1 sellers for that narrow privacy. If you only have like a small strip and you want a tall hedge or privacy screen, this is always our go-to, or the American pillar.
Yeah, and you can plant these about 4 to 5 feet apart. You can go closer if you're trying to get a really thick wall, but these are so good at being up around the pool or up against the fence, corner of the house. I mean, just a beautiful tree.
And I'm happy how they grew these. I always look for how they grew it.
Right.
And the way that the cultural practices from this grower is just outstanding and amazing to me.
We just have like one central leader on these.
And that takes time.
Yeah.
So we found a very good source for our emerald green.
Yeah.
They did a good job.
Wow.
All right, Josiah, like we said earlier, this is what, the second week in September.
Yeah.
And so this is a really good time for people to select their trees because they can see the full canopy.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And then when they're installed, temperatures will do nothing but go down.
Right.
And so all the juices from the canopy in the tree is going into the root system during the winter time.
Right.
And the tree will increase its girth for the spring.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But there's a few things that we want to tell people about as far as what to do with their newly planted tree.
Yeah.
Whenever we install trees, we always use this cotton burr compost. It is composted cotton burrs, which is a legume, and it adds about 9% to the soil as far as nitrogen, 9% nitrogen. But the nice thing about the cotton burr is that it breaks up the clay soil.
Yeah.
It keeps you from having root rot, and it's very good for the fibrous part of the tree. So
what I actually like about using this as well is because it adds aeration, because it is from the cotton burr. It adds aeration in your soil. When you're getting your new trees planted, always ask for this at your local nursery or here at Rockwell Farms. Ask for this because you know those roots that surface up above the ground.
Yeah.
Those are breather roots, and you can really help by having aeration. So those will be more
to
in
where
the
they
ground.
go down instead of up.
Yeah, those come
right.
come up because they're looking for oxygen. By making sure that your soil is amended and has aeration in the soil around the tree, that will help to reduce those breather roots.
And you know, on a side note, the Rockwell Farms Magnificent 7 soil mix for people's gardens, this is a third of that mix.
Yeah,
so people wonder why that mix is so outstanding.
Yeah.
1/3 of that mix is this cotton burr.
Well, it's so true. When they come up here and look at our garden, well, how do I get that? This is actually what we use in our garden, and I'm telling you, it's almost like cheating. I mean, because everything is happy, healthy. It holds more of a disease and root rot resistance because it is just awesome.
And because of the mineral content, pretty much we'll add some fertilizer, but you actually don't have to add much fertilizer at all till your plants get about yay big.
Especially your first or second year with this stuff.
Exactly.
Some of the other things that I like is the root stimulator. I really stress for people getting their new trees installed, especially in summer and spring and and now, but because this is really going to help them get a jump start. As soon as they have a root system that is established, the far better their tree is going to be doing quicker.
And the reason why that's such a good product, I love Fertilome's root stimulator because it has the perfect amount of IBA, indole-butyric acid, which is the same hormone that the tree produces to stimulate its own roots.
Wow.
So, and if you buy your trees here on the back of the sheet, we don't leave you ignorant when you leave.
Right.
On the top it says how to take care of your newly planted tree. We address watering, we address what you talked about, aeration, but the number one thing is the root stimulator. We tell you exactly how much to use per gallon for whatever size tree you have.
There is one more thing I didn't want to get away without talking about this. So you remember our fruit trees in our last video?
Yes.
Our fruit trees, this is actually what I used on those to get that amazing growth that we did. And so this is a newer product that we started carrying. And I tested it out on a few things. I tested it in our flower bed here at the corner. I tested it on our fruit trees. And of course, we're using this actively in our test garden in the back. We had gotten really good growth out of this. If you're planting trees or shrubs, this is also another form of it felt like cheating to get new growth out of everything.
Let me comment a little bit about Royal Gold, that company. I went out bird hunting, I think last week, dove hunting. Yeah. And there's certain fields where there's no dove. You know why?
No.
Okay. The cattlemen that feed their cows a lot of antibiotics, and when they spray herbicide and so forth, but especially antibiotics, and they use the chicken litter from the houses, when it goes down, it actually repels the doves.
Wow.
And a lot of people will use the manure from cows from fields that they sprayed herbicide, graze on. Yeah. And they wonder, they come back to me and say, you know, I used so much cow manure and my stuff did not grow. Well, I ask them, what herbicide did you use? Right. The farmers that do rotation and don't use herbicides as much as the others, that manure is very potent for their garden. Yeah. So my friend that I was hunting with, he has absolutely no problem, and all of his other friends do. The reason why I say that is because what you put into an animal comes out of the animal, okay? So the antibiotics and the other things that they pump, growth hormones and so forth, that they put into the chickens comes out of their poop, okay? Now, the one thing, and I think you're going to allude to it, most every other, remember past spring when we were frustrated, we were trying to find someone,
right?
And then we found Royal Gold, because every other organic fertilizer uses chicken manure.
Because it's so readily available here, especially in NWA.
And Royal Gold uses seabird guano. Totally native, totally natural, no hormones, no insecticide for worms put in the bird.
Yeah.
You can go on and on. It's just totally pure, totally natural. And it's a lot more potent.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you something. Remember when the other representatives of those fertilizer companies would come and try to sell us their product that was based with feather meal and
chicken manure?
Okay. Yeah. They would say, oh, don't worry about the hormones or any insecticide that we put into the birds. All that is taken out when we heat treat the fertilizer.
There's a big problem with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Number one, you hadn't put all your trust in the guy controlling the heat. Number two, if you heat up fertilizer, you are depleting its nitrogen content.
And it's beneficial bacteria, your microbes, and,
yes,
mycorrhiza.
Exactly.
Heat treating it. If they're heat treating it, they're doing that to kill the bacteria, but you're going to also kill the beneficial bacteria by doing that.
Exactly. So that's why, you're the one that actually brought in Royal Gold, and I appreciate that. It was a pleasure meeting them, and now I'm a fan. Yeah,
and every guy that we've talked to from Royal Gold, I think we'll have Adrian on the show here after a while from over there at Royal Gold. And every single guy up there knows exactly what's in this, can tell you,
they're
and
not just sales
so
people.
Educated.
Yes,
yeah.
And then one thing that I appreciate about it is that because of its nutrient content and the particle size, you use a lot less of this than you do of.
And that was actually the main thing that we were running into.
We got frustrated last year.
Yeah. Yep. We were using so much organic fertilizer. Yep. Okay, it's already expensive enough to go to the supermarket and look for organic fruits and vegetables. But to grow your own was just crazy as well. And so we were getting frustrated. Why do we have to use so much organic fertilizer and it costs so much?
Yeah. And
come to find out, they had a lot of fillers, and some of those companies, I believe, have all those fillers, so you have to use more to get the results you want.
Yep.
With this company, we were so happy because we could use so little, get way better results than we could even imagine, and pay a lot less.
Right. So back to the trees. We use, he uses this on the fruit trees that we grow here, and we are so satisfied with the growth of it. Make sure that when you have trees installed that you use the Fertilome root stimulator. It's a very good product, and it's not expensive whatsoever. And make sure that this is incorporated through your existing soil. And we make sure that we do not use more than half cottonburr compost and half soil, because this is so potent it will burn. Do not even think about growing directly in it.
Right, I would agree with that.
Okay, well, why don't you lead us out?
Well, hey, thank you so much for joining us on this episode. We really appreciate you. Again, we're doing a raffle. If you like and subscribe to our channels and our social media sites, you'll get a free raffle ticket for those. We are raffling off a free 25-gallon shade tree that
of
size.
Your choice.
Yeah, that size, huge crabapple, that size. We'll even plant it for you and give you everything that you need to ensure that your tree is going to do phenomenal.
25.
Yeah. That was huge.
Okay.
Huge. So we will cover that for you if you enter in to win. And so also, if you have any questions about any of the things that we've talked about today, or you have topics that you would like us to start on this show and need garden help, we can certainly do that. Just leave a comment down below, and we'll see you next time.
You know what? When we have the winner, let's have him on the show. I think that'd be super cool.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, hey, and if you want to be on the show,
one of our videos, I take it.
Yep, there you go. Yeah. Awesome.
Hey, thanks for joining us once again, and we'll just look forward to talking to you next week.
Awesome. Hey, thank you.